In this segment, we visit Kings Fork High School for a special art workshop. The Suffolk Art League sponsored a workshop by the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts visiting artist Chris Iden, titled Combining Images and Text.
The intention and purpose, well, my intention is to share with the students and with the teachers some of my own work and my own approach to art making, which involves literature of some kind, poetry or prose, sometimes things that I read about scientific studies. Science is involved in my work, but mainly I've been working a lot with poetry for many, many years. So I came up with this project for a school system I was working with in Henrico County and also for VMFA, to make a presentation for students of my art and other people's art that have worked with specific writers, and to talk about working with literature in a figurative or metaphorical way. So it's not an illustration of a poem, but rather the poetry or literature becomes a catalyst for kind of springboard for the artist, for the visual artist. And there's a rich history of that, and there's a rich examples of that throughout contemporary art. So I've put together this PowerPoint presentation, and then we make an art project, and the students bring a poet that they're interested in knowing more about, or a piece of poetry or literature, and we read that together and look at it and try to pull it apart and figure out why are they responding to it, what are the metaphors, what is the imagery that comes up, that springs out of that, what do they want to express or convey with their artwork that has been conveyed to them through this literature. So it's really working in a conceptual way. It's difficult because it's not straightforward. So my intention is to model that for students, that here's how I've worked and here's how other people have worked, and then walk with them through the process of working that way themselves. And I'm just endlessly inspired and amazed by them that they do it in such a beautiful way. Well, I find it very, very important, and that's part of the intention and purpose. The first question of this project is to, I'm modeling for students in my work and in the PowerPoint presentation how I've connected my own thinking and work to former artists and writers, and that sometimes, and I sort of kid with them a little bit, that I'm in dialogue, with these dead people, but that I'm really, the work from poets like Emily Dickinson nourish my own work and feed me and help me figure out how to approach issues in my work or ideas that I'm wrestling with, or problems. It's a thread that runs through. So I feel, personally, I feel this connection as a creative person or artist. I feel a connection with all of these people that have come before me and wrestled with art problems and life problems, and it's in their work. So I can be in dialogue with their work and have my own work enriched and nourished by that. And I want students to understand that that kind of relationship to work is there for them too, to cultivate. If they could simply take away the experience of having an artistic experience with their own process, their making process, and with engaging with the literature and with some of the art that we looked at in the slide presentation, so that they have an experience of opening up to risk-taking, to taking a risk of not knowing how the project's going to turn out. We don't know if it's going to be great looking, if it's going to be successful, but we're on this kind of path, we're on a making process and journey to see where is this going to go. And so the emphasis in these workshops when I give them is exploration and investigation and deep looking and thinking about possibilities, really exploring possibilities, almost like a scientist in a way. What are the possibilities? Generally, I haven't had a lot of bad-looking artwork come out of these workshops, I'll be honest. I think they surprise me, but I always think they're going to be wonderful, but they surprise themselves. But they touch me because every time I've done this workshop, students really touch me with the willingness to push beyond their comfort zone. They don't want to all the times, I can see it, but they will. They'll do it, and they're rewarded by that, and you can watch that. You can see what they gain is this little piece of them, another chunk of themselves, right? And confidence and awareness that they can step out, take a risk, and that there's so much to be gained. And that's what I really, that's all I want. That tiny little thing.
Thanks for watching this segment of Suffolk Headlines.